Good evening, everyone. Hope you're all having an excellent Friday. I know I am. Got this fire built up nicely. You know, I was a little afraid actually that it wouldn't, I don't know, go this easily or, I don't know, burn as easy as it did. But, you know, I started with just a ton of kindling, but we've been getting a lot of rain here lately. It's just been raining almost every day. So this wood is not dry at all. But, you know, seems to have built up pretty well and is burning all right. I want to keep building the fire up, but I'm afraid of smothering it with how, you know, how moist all this wood is. But it seems to be burning well. I think the sap is doing a pretty good job of helping everything light on fire too. All right, let me get the stream pulled up on my tablet here so I can see the chat. There we go. Hey, roadies. How you guys doing? How's Ocean Shores? Is the temperature still perfect? No fire smoke? Hey, James, how's it going, brother? Gun6 Steven, welcome. Sherry Sparkle, Walter Dixon, TCPLP Nut. Thank you guys for hanging out with me tonight. I was looking forward to this Campfire Friday because, yeah, I can finally have a campfire again. Give me 1 second. I'm going to listen to the stream, make sure the audio is all right. Because, yeah, I can finally have. Nice. And let me know, you guys, if the quality of the stream starts to drop, if it starts getting jittery or anything like that, because I'm fairly far away from my Starlink. You can see the travel trailer in the background there, but you know, it might not look like it's too far away, but the Starlink Mini doesn't have the greatest range. It's actually pretty impressive how good the range is on the Starlink Mini, but still. So yeah, just let me know if the stream's having any issues. Yeah, where am I? I am in the Uinta Mountains in northeastern Utah. Last time you guys saw me, I was in Washington State, you know, just south of Mount Rainier, camped near the town of Packwood, Washington. I really wanted to stay in Washington longer. And I discussed this in the video that I released yesterday. Excuse me. So yeah, new video just dropped yesterday if you haven't seen it. But yeah, I wanted to stay in Washington a little longer, but the fire smoke was just so bad that I just had to get out of there. And, you know, it's probably for the best anyway, because you know, I've stayed in Washington a lot. You guys know I've camped in Washington, so it forced me out of, you know, a state that I'm comfortable with to come down to a part of Utah that I've never experienced before. And yeah, that's the Uinta Mountains. I'm like a couple hours east of Salt Lake City, like straight east. And I'm actually close. I'm pretty close to. I'm closer to the border with Wyoming than I am to Salt Lake City. So I'm actually pretty close to Wyoming. But yeah, it's really pretty here. I'm at 9,200 feet in elevation. And so, you know, that's why I'm in sweats and a beanie, because it's not particularly warm out. You know, the high today, I think, was 52 degrees, which I actually really like. I like the cooler temperatures. Much more than I'll take highs in the upper 50s over highs in the mid 80s any day. And I've actually like I said, this wood is fairly wet because it's been raining so much. But I actually kind of like I came here specifically because there was a lot of rain in the forecast. Because the jet stream that cuts across the United States kind of comes down from the Pacific Northwest, dips down into Idaho, Utah, Colorado, Wyoming, and then kind of cuts back up into the Midwest. And so that consistent jet stream is carrying all of that fire smoke from Washington, Oregon, and British Columbia, Canada, down into this area. But because it's raining so much here, that rain just takes all of the smoke out of the air. And so on the days that it doesn't rain, a little bit of a haze starts to show, but then the next day it rains and takes all of that haze right out of it. So it's been really nice. Hey, Chris, how's it going, Mr. Freeze Adventures? Todd Woodman. Hey, man, how's it going? How's your Friday treating you? I'm doing well, Sherry. Thank you. Yeah, I'm doing really well. I really like this site. It's really pretty here. It's throughout the week, it feels really secluded because I am out pretty dang far, and I'm surprised how popular this site gets on the weekend. So, Friday, Saturday, and then like the first half of Sunday, it gets really busy here, which is fine. It's kind of cool having a lot of, people around, they're all having a good time camping too. There's that energy in the air, and like I said, it's only for Friday, Saturday, and like half a Sunday. And then the rest of the week, I have this place like all to myself. It's pretty great. Hello from Southern California, a wood fire. Heck yeah. Yeah, it's been raining so much here that no fire restrictions, not even stage 1. So pretty great. Yeah, I mean, the portable propane campfire is great. I actually have it right here. If you guys haven't seen it, I know I've used it in a couple live streams, but if anyone's new to the live stream, here's my portable propane campfire pit, which I actually made use of, helped me out on a project in the most recent video I uploaded. But I mean, it's really great having it for areas that you can't have campfires, which is becoming more and more common, especially during the summer, that a lot of parts of the country, especially out west, impose fire restrictions and make it so you can't have like, wood fires. You can only have fires through a portable propane fire pit. Yeah, I got that thing off of eTrailer.com's website. Love that place. They just have like everything. My trailer's full of eTrailer stuff because they've just been so useful. But yeah, well, yeah, this chair even is from eTrailer. Which, by the way, this is the best camping chair that I've ever had. I used to have like zero gravity chairs, which were nice, but you couldn't really get close to campfires with them because they stick out so far, like the leg section does. And so I like this one a lot more. I can scoot a lot closer to the pit, but I mean, it's just really comfortable, and it actually reclines too. It's got little things in the back that I can pull to recline it, which is pretty sweet. What is this? Kelty? Kelty's a brand? Pretty great. Pushing 100 here in South Carolina, heat advisory. Ugh. Yeah, that's rough. Especially in South Carolina, because I'm sure that heat comes with a fair amount of humidity too, right? It's actually really dry here, like the air is. And so it's kind of perfect because, like I said, it's been raining a lot, which keeps the fire smoke down and the fire danger down. But this area is also typically pretty arid, and so the air still remains pretty dry. I think the relative humidity all day today, despite it raining earlier today even, the relative humidity is hanging around 30%. So, I mean, it's just perfect. It's fairly dry. Yeah, but there's very little risk of fires, um, and no smoke, no fire smoke, except for the smoke that I'm creating right now. Oh yeah, man, these bigger logs are not really wanting to ignite. Got a pretty great coal base going though, so if I keep feeding smaller logs down in there. It's nice and hot though. This fire pit that someone built is huge and really tall, so it's really keeping the heat down in there, which is nice. I had to rebuild this a little bit. A lot of it had fallen down, so I stacked it back up. But yeah, check this out. Oops, I found this is what I use for my kindling, by the way. This is pretty funny. It's like this crazy rat's nest of branches, or or maybe this is roots actually. This might be roots, not really sure. But I found 2 of these just lying around, and so I cut off the, this part and just sat that in, put some paper towels under it, lit it, and just boom, there's my coal base. Easy kindling. It's pretty funny. Oh, I don't know if that really showed up. I forget I'm kind of far away from the camera, and also the smoke in the middle of it. Yeah, look at this. Here it is. Yeah, this must be roots. Well, I don't know. You tell me. It was just lying on the ground, so I don't really know. Pretty great though, worked perfectly. Ignited instantly. Oh yes, like a sauna. Yeah, I bet. Yeah, 100 degrees, high humidity. It does feel like a sauna. Real man of genius, just saying. I forget what I said to deserve a comment like that, but I appreciate it. Do you think a 30-foot Class C can go basically where you go? It really depends on, I would say, obviously ground clearance is a huge factor, probably the biggest when you're talking Class Cs. I know the van chassis Class Cs tend to not have very good ground clearance, whereas the truck-based Class Cs tend to have a lot better ground clearance. And then also your overhang on the back from your rear axle, how much of that Class C overhangs the back, because when you go over bumps, that's going to tilt down and potentially drag. And so if you're going to be going off-roading with that, you might want to consider, building some kind of skid plate for the back, which wouldn't be hard. Just get a plate, big piece of aluminum sheet or, steel sheet, and find places to mount it to your frame or something, so that if that rear does go down, it'll drag that instead of your fiberglass rear end. And then the second one is weight. And so, my weight is distributed across 4 axles, my truck, 2 axles, and then my trailer, 2 axles, which is a big deal for when you're on mud, dirt, soft sand. And so if your Class C is really heavy, then that is going to limit you, especially up steep inclines. But if your Class C is a dually, then that is going to actually help you because you have 4 tires that are gripping the ground instead of just 2 like my truck. And so, it's really hard to say because there's so many variables, but you're definitely going to want to take those things into consideration. Your ground clearance and whether or not your ground clearance, your rear overhang over the rear axle, and how heavy your Class C is. That's a really big one. For reference, my truck is like 6,700 pounds dry. So with all the crap in it, it's probably 7,500 pounds. Me included, me as the driver. And then my travel trailer weighs about 6,000 to 6,500 pounds, fully loaded, water, everything full. So yeah, my rig is around 13,000-ish, maybe 13 to 14,000, depending on a number of things. But yeah. Oh, Mr. Free, I spent a few months oh gosh, I can't talk. What the heck? I spent a few months in the Jeep in Vernal, Utah. Dinosaur Monument is stellar. I've heard of that. Yeah, I should check that out. It is pretty cool how much dinosaur prints are there. Oh yeah, yeah. You really like how the propane fire pit packs up for real. Gun 6, I'll call you that. That's cool. Gun 6 Steven. Yeah, I mean, it is great how it packs up. And actually, like, it's got these fire rocks in it too. These are actual lava rocks, like real actual rocks. And once these heat up, it starts to act like a coal base in a fire, and that's where the real heat emanates from. And so, once all these rocks heat up, it does put out a bit of heat, and you can actually feel it. It's not like a fire, obviously. Portable propane fire pits just don't put out fire or heat nearly as much as a campfire, but you're right. I mean, packs up right in there, and then you can just carry it around. And if you don't like fire smoke, getting on all your clothes and stuff, then those are really great too. They don't, smell. Roots. Yeah, okay. So yeah, that is roots. Using the fire pit to melt the silicone off the trim. Oh, thank you. Okay, yeah, gotcha. Yes, I had to get creative with that. When, I started the project, because I knew rain was in the forecast. And then once I got to, peeling that silicone off of the back of the corner trim molding, I started to get really anxious knowing that there's rain in the forecast the next day, and there's no way I'm gonna get this done in time. I don't have a hairdryer. I don't have a heat gun, which I'm gonna buy a heat gun now. I should have one anyway. They just come in handy for random things. But yeah, I was like, okay, now I've made this problem exponentially worse. Before I just had a few gaps along the corrugation of my aluminum siding. Now my entire like seam is wide open, and yeah, I mean, I just sat and I thought I stopped like futilely peeling off that silicone, and just sat and thought for a second, okay, what can I do here? I need heat. And I thought about building a fire, but instead I just broke out the propane fire pit. Yeah, that thing saved me big time. Hello, David, from Emma, Ava, and me. Hey guys, hope you're doing well. Good to see you again. Watching from Vermont, we were at a drive-through in Ascutney, Vermont today. The truck in front of us had a sticker on the back window with a head of a Roddy named Sweet Pea. Aw. Of course, Sweetie came right to mind. That's awesome. She's hanging out with us. She's right here. That's cool. That's super cool. Hi, David. The Midwest has been getting slammed with storms lately. We are near Chicago. Is your family in Indiana okay? Last I talked to them, they're okay. I think I talked to them a couple days ago. Yeah, it's about 2 days ago. But I have been talking with my buddy Austin, my childhood friend, and well, I just knocked over the fire. Okay, I get more in there. And yeah, he was telling me about how bad the storms are, in Indiana right now. It's pretty typical, though. You get that. All those storms get supercharged by the Great Lakes. Oops, darn it. Be right back. There's a big stick over here that I saw that I knew, I should probably grab this, and it'll be my poker. Pretty good size stick. You know what? These logs are burning pretty good. That's nice. Yeah, I was actually kind of worried about that, but everything's burning real well. Just hope I cut enough logs. I certainly thought I did. Hi, I want to buy a trailer and start a full-time traveling, much like you. What would be your tips and tricks for a beginner? Oh man, that's a general question. Well, when it comes to, let's focus on buying the travel trailer, because there's so many options and it's so difficult to pick, which one you want. But when I bought my travel trailer, what we did is make a list of like the features that were must-haves, what features were nice-to-haves, and what features were like, we didn't want, and then which ones were deal breakers. Like if it has this, then that ruins it for us. Like for me, there's if it has a bunkhouse, because I don't have kids. And so a bunkhouse is just total waste of space. And also, or for me, like that huge back window for just like seeing the sights from inside and the rear panoramic, 180-degree window setup, that was like a must-have, and so just make that list of those features: must-haves, nice-to-haves, you don't want, and deal breakers. And that's going to help you really narrow down what kind of travel trailer you want, and also be really aware of how you want to travel or how you think you want to travel. And it might even be a good idea to try and rent one ahead of time before you buy. Go out on some trips, near home, so that you can kind of get the feel for it, because you might not know what you want or what you don't want until you're actually out there. And it's a lot cheaper to just rent for, a couple weekends to get a good idea of things and how you operate and how you want to camp and travel. It's a lot cheaper to do that as opposed to buying a unit and then using it for a little while, not liking it, having to sell it and buy another one. You'll lose so much money doing that. So little bit of advice. I don't know if that's quite what you were looking for, but hopefully that helped. Still super fine in ocean shores. Uinta looks great. I stutter when I say Uinta because it's a native word and it doesn't quite look like how it should be said, and so it messes with me for a second. Oh, Todd Woodman, good evening from Maine. Very cool. How's the weather in Maine? Okay, roadies. All right, Scott. Oh, it's absolutely terrible. Sea breeze, 62 degrees. Yeah, right. That is definitely sarcasm. Hello from Texas, where it's 102 degrees and we're slowly being baked alive. Yeah, I definitely feel like a hacked summer coming up to this elevation. Yeah, my favorite seasons are like spring and fall, because I just really love these cooler temperatures, and so I feel like I ran up to higher elevation to escape the summer, much like in the winter I usually go down to Arizona to escape the winter. Oh, yeah. Chris, he asked, does your mom still ride the trike you got her? Actually, I've got some pretty sad news. She actually wrecked that trike riding it. She did ride it all the time. She loved it, but she actually wrecked it and broke a bunch of ribs. I think she broke 5 of her ribs, maybe 6. A lot. She broke a lot of ribs. She's okay. She's fine, but she's been in the hospital and going through physical therapy to, you know, still be able to get some movement of those ribs to help them heal properly. And so, yes, she does still ride the trike, and she absolutely loves it. She rides it all the time. There's actually a trail near my parents' house that it's been paved. It's a part of what's called the Fort Wayne River Greenway, which is a whole big trail system in Fort Wayne, Indiana. It's pretty sweet. And so yeah, she rides that trike on that paved trail. But yeah, unfortunately, she took a tumble. Yeah, and I've spoken with her. I've given her calls to check on her and stuff, and just talk to her while she's in the hospital and stuff. But yeah, she is recovering. I just replaced the black trim molding on mine. It was cracking badly. Oh yeah. You're talking about the vinyl trim insert. Yeah, those crack all the time. I have to replace them like every other year. It's just probably a lot to do with the desert sun also when I go down into the desert, and also all the like dry areas I go to. But yeah. Oh, thank you, Baker's Adventures. Said keep up the great job in your videos. I will. Thank you. I appreciate that. Tips for a lot of beginners. Tips for a beginner. Watch a lot of YouTube videos. Start with Theta Unbound. Thanks, Mark. I appreciate that. But it's true. It's true actually. That watching just as many YouTube videos as you possibly can of people that are doing what you want to do really helps. I mean, that's what I did in the beginning also. I just watched. I had a few YouTubers that I really liked, and I felt like they were doing what I wanted to do. And yeah, that really helps. I learned a lot from them. Hey, happily wherever after is on. Hey guys, how's it going? Thomas and Elise, they are boating the Great Loop, America's Great Loop. Walk with David is next week. Yeah, right. I actually, you guys missed Walk with David. It actually was last night. I made that chicken fried rice again. I've been working / living in my RV since 2019. Been following your channel the whole time. Oh, wow. That's awesome. Thank you, Walter. Well, do you guys want to see around the campsite? I can kind of show you around a little bit. I know the video went up today. Or not today, sorry. The video went up yesterday that kind of shows it really well, you know, also from the air with the drone footage, but, you know, we can still kind of go around and check out the site. There's a fire pit. And like I said, I kind of had to reconstruct it a bit. A lot of the bigger rocks had fallen over. But yeah, coming up here, this is where I'm camped. Got a nice little spot for the truck too. It's funny when I find little spots like this, I feel like this is the garage. But you know, it's got decent amount of tree cover, which old Helga doesn't really get to be shaded very much. So, you know, this is kind of nice. So yeah, there's my garage, right? And then yeah, here's the campsite. And I'm actually right off of a little path, a road that leads down to the lake. That is Whitney Reservoir is what it's called. But yeah, it's a nice little site. I like it a lot. And it smells so good here. These trees right here smell so strongly. of just like that classic pine smell, even though that's a fir tree, not a pine tree, but still. Oh, Watch the Dead Tree by Helga. Yeah, that guy. Yeah. Yeah, good point. Good point. Yeah, the lake's really pretty. And the sunsets are really cool too, especially with all this cloud cover. And I rode around on my ATV, did some exploring about a week ago. And oh man, I actually have a story for you guys. So I went out on a ride on the ATV, and I was probably a 30-minute ride away from camp, and the chain on my ATV came off of the rear axle, the chain that drives the rear sprocket, and I don't have any cell service. I'm out in the middle of nowhere, and I just look at it, and I'm like, what? But thankfully I was, to make a long story short, I messed with it for quite a while, but I was basically trying to roll the chain back over the sprocket, but it kept binding up and getting really, really tight, because the chains, they're not supposed to come off the sprocket, and so they're on there fairly tight. There's a bit of slack. You don't want a tight chain when it's on the sprocket, but it did not want to go. There wasn't really enough room, but thankfully I keep a little pack of tools under the seat in that thing, and I had a flathead screwdriver, and I was able to stick that screwdriver between the sprocket and the chain, and kind of, as like I'm slowly rolling the chain up, kind of prying this chain over, like back onto the teeth of the sprocket, so that it could engage sooner. Those links could engage on the chain or on the sprocket to give a little more slack, so I could keep going. And eventually, I was able to roll the chain back fully onto the sprocket and get back home. But yeah, that was nerve-wracking. And what happened is I was essentially rock crawling up this 50-inch restricted trail that had a bunch of like really big rocks on it, and so I'm like rock crawling up kind of a steep trail, and my left tire went up onto a rock, and then it kind of slid off of it. And as it slid off of it, the chain and the sprocket caught that rock while spinning, and apparently it caught it just right to just roll the chain right off the sprocket. So yeah, that was an experience. But thankfully, I was able to get the chain back on and make it home. Nice garage. Thanks. Hi, David from Florida. Hey, Gen X Club. How's it going? Weather's great in Maine. Finally, lower humidity. Nice. Good. Oh, nice. Okay. So you are going to rent one to test the lifestyle. That's, yeah, definitely a smart idea. Looking in two different ones now, an Ember Overload or an MDC one. How much the trailer, having a good suspension is important for someone who wants to go disperse camping. I don't know. I have to be completely honest. I don't know, because my travel trailer just has the most basic crappy trailer suspension ever, and I've never experienced a travel trailer that has like really nice off-road or independent suspension. I bet it's really nice. So unfortunately, I don't know because I've only experienced this. Looks like a spot for some fishing. It is a spot for some fishing. They do stock this reservoir, and yeah, people are fishing on it constantly. It's pretty common. I see people out on kayaks with their fishing poles. So yeah, pretty cool. We envy. Oh yeah. Hi, David from Florida. Oh, wait, I already said that. Yeah. I already read that comment. My bad. Oh, cool. Glenn Dobbs says you guys inspired us to do it. That's awesome, man. Greetings from Florida. That was the best advice you gave earlier on a beginner getting into buying an RV. Rent one and find out what you need before you buy. Yeah, you'll save yourself lots of money for sure. Yeah, it's definitely worth it. I think of it as cheap insurance. We're watching from Georgian Bay Islands National Park in Ontario. Georgian Bay Island, or Georgian Bay Islands National Park. I gotta see where that's at. Georgian Bay. Is it, I imagine it's pretty beautiful there considering it's a national park. Oh, okay. Wow. Very cool. For some reason, my my phone has way better signal than my tablet does. This is a really, really old tablet, though. Epic spot. Seen any fun critters? I have actually. I saw a. So there's bald eagle nested all around in the trees. So I've seen plenty of bald eagles. I've seen a number of red-tailed hawk. They're almost always up in the air, and deer. Obviously, deer are around, and I saw some sandhill cranes. Those were really pretty. Never seen those before, even though I know that they're pretty common, but I still have never seen sandhill cranes before. I'm going to switch this table over real quick because my tablet, there we go, caught that, we're good. The tablet's having a tough time keeping signal. All right. And what other critters have I seen? I don't think I've seen, I think that's about it, other than, just random birds like killdeer along the banks. And yeah, that's about it. Oh, no, I saw when I was out on my ATV ride a week ago, I saw a mother moose with her calf. They were not close, but yeah, I actually got some video of that. I'll throw that in the next video because I forgot I even had that when I was making this video. Sorry, making the last video, the video that went up yesterday. Sandhill cranes are my favorite. Okay, so who's talking here? Is this Thomas or Elise? Yeah, sandhill cranes are really cool. I really like their bugling, and their like rust-colored feathers are really pretty. And yeah, they're like red, like their red head, whatever you call that, the like tuft that they've got up on there is really neat too. Come on, get in there. I'm gonna. There's a lot of smoke between the like you guys and me. I want to not have so much of that going on. So maybe just do a little Move the camera a bit. We'll see how that goes. That'll be good. There. Okay. There. Maybe we won't have so much smoke between us now. You can actually see one another. Elise said that. Awesome. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, their bugling noise is really cool. Yeah, that's how you do it. Good thing you know how to fix that chain. I mean, honestly, that's the first time that's ever happened to me. You know, I've ridden motorcycles in the past. Back when I lived in Indiana, I always had a motorcycle, but I've never had a chain come off, never had a chain break or anything like that. So, yeah, I just like looked at it and was like, well, there's only one way I'm getting home, and it's getting this chain back on. Do you ever get concerned with trees during heavy thunderstorms falling on your camper? No, it goes through my mind every now and then, but you know, things like that, like I pick a campsite with that in mind, like ahead of time. You know, you obviously can't always, know if a tree is gonna fall over or not. But like really big dead trees, except for the one that I have Helga parked next to. I didn't think of that, but I don't have the travel trailer really in harm's way of anything like that. But no, I don't really worry about that because I don't know. It's just like it's one of those things. Like, could it happen? Yeah, I suppose. But the odds are really like super low. And so it's just not something that I, hold a lot of anxiety over. So yeah, I mean, just try not to put your rig next to any trees that are like dead, long dead. Don't let your fire go out. No, I didn't, trust me. It's actually going really well. It might not look like it though, just because it's still daytime, and so you can't really see the fire licks as well. You know what? I want you guys to be able to see the fire better. This fire pit is actually kind of deep, pretty deep fire pit. So we're gonna kind of move a little bit of rocks, and actually this will help airflow get in there more anyway, since it's so high walled. Having kind of an opening here will help with that. There. Let me know, can you guys see the fire a little better? It's Campfire Friday after all. There. I'll scoot down over here a little bit so I'm still in frame. All right, there we go. Nice. Got some of these rocks blocking my heat now. Get out of here. All right. Sandhill cranes are believed to be one of the oldest bird species. Sound like dinosaurs. They migrate from Alaska to Florida and stop at some places along the way. One of my faves as well. Reminds me of home. Aw, that's so cool. Yeah, I actually looked up because I saw a pair of them, and apparently they mate for life, which is really sweet. Yeah, I looked up if they like nest here, if it's common for them to be at these high elevations. And yeah, that's what I learned, is that they migrate they travel really long distances during their migrations, and they use areas like where I'm at now as stopover points. And so, yeah, no, those sandhill cranes, they don't live here. They're just visiting, much like me. They're just hanging out. Pretty cool. Johnny Lightning, a little late for you, huh? I'm sorry, man. As the sun sets earlier and earlier, we'll start having these earlier and earlier also. I actually almost had this start at 7 so that it would like get into nighttime a little bit, but I decided not to. I decided to have it a little earlier so that, the people on the East Coast could still join. So, yeah. Oh, we have sandhill cranes here in McHenry County in Illinois. Very cool. Yeah, I looked up their range. They go like everywhere. They're very widespread. Lots of sandhill cranes here in the middle of Michigan. A friend of mine had a rookery in his back, 40, actually about 2 acres. Oh, that's pretty cool. Wow. So what did he just had this like place where these birds could come and just hang out for a little bit and then fly on off? We watched 2 mated cranes near Yellowstone for a week sharing nest duties. Aw, that's really neat. Oh, a brush can do the same. If you feed the chain with it, takes a few tries, but you can ride the chain back on. Oh, okay, interesting. Interesting. Yeah, unfortunately, my chain doesn't have any kind of link to unhook and be able to separate the chain and bring it back on. It's solid. But yeah, a link that you can do that with would definitely help, but it does make the chain weaker. All right, got to keep this fire fed. Let's see what log we want to go with. Here we go. And this wood in particular was so easy to cut also for this campfire. I just do it all by hand. But I have really good saws. But man, it cuts so easy. That stuff is so soft. Subalpine fir, I think, is what this is. But it's either that or Engelmann spruce, I think is how you pronounce it, Engelmann. But yeah, I need to get a new chainsaw. I have a chainsaw, but it's just this little dinky thing, an 18-volt electric chainsaw, which has been really nice. It's convenient that, I don't have to mess around with fuel and oil. So yeah, I think I'm probably going to get another electric chainsaw, but it's going to be, like a 60-volt or something like that. And one with like an actually like big bar, like a Milwaukee or something. I've got a pretty cheap one, it's a Ryobi 18-volt. But yeah, I definitely need to invest in a nicer, more powerful chainsaw. That would make all of this a lot easier. But I don't really mind, cutting this by hand. And I also, have a hatchet to, process the wood that I cut off, like knock the branches off and stuff, and then use that as kindling. So I mean, I do like doing that because I like anything that really just gets my body moving, and so like manual tasks like that I actually kind of enjoy. I think of it because I don't go to the gym or anything, right? But so I think of that as, just my gym. I get a workout, just sawing, and it's nice just being outside doing some like manual labor like that, gathering resources. There's something very very instinctually like the satisfaction you get from that is obviously very instinctual, gathering resources and yeah, like processing them by hand, preparing them for what you're going to use them for. I don't know. I just enjoy it, but I still want a chainsaw, especially for like hot days. If it's really hot out or if I'm just tired, it'd be nice to just, right? Okay, go electric again. A DeWalt. I was looking at. I was at a what's essentially like a Tractor Supply. It's a smaller chain here in Wyoming. I forget what it's called. But I was there and I started looking at their chainsaws, which, by the way, was like the ones that I would get are like $400. So that was a little salty. But I'll use it, so it's no big deal. But yeah, I was looking at the DeWalts also. I was looking at the Milwaukees and the DeWalts. I have DeWalt tools now. My drill, nut runner, those are DeWalt, and I've had those. Those are old. I think those were housewarming gifts from my parents. Yeah, my drill might be 13 years old, and that thing is still going. I can't really remember when I got that. It was a Christmas present from my parents. Yeah, that set. Yeah, I think that's 13 years old, and I use them. I was using them, in the video, running this new screws in for my corner seal, and I haven't noticed any drop in power. So, yeah, shit, maybe I should get a DeWalt. Stick with DeWalt, man. Ken Seeley. Hey, brother David. Greetings from St. Augustine, Florida. It's hot and miserable here. No, we've got sandhill cranes here too. They're so cool. Love their call. Sweet. I'm sorry to hear that the weather there's miserable. That's not what I want to hear. Well, I mean, it's lovely up here in the mountains. Yeah, I mean, that's what I do during the summer when it starts to get hot everywhere. Just escape to high elevation. Those big birds can digest whole bones. Holy moly, that's pretty cool. Such a gorgeous spot you chose. Thanks, Jennifer. It was actually really difficult to get back here. It was about 10 miles, maybe a little more, down just a horrible forest road. Really bad. If I had like a truck camper or something like that, or a van, it wouldn't have been nearly as bad. Something with proper suspension, because going down it with just my truck isn't really a big deal. I just go slow, so I'm not beating the shit out of it. But my travel trailer though, just has standard leaf spring trailer suspension, nothing special about it. And so going over big rocks and stuff and uneven roads, I just crawl. And so I'm going 5 mile an hour tops. And so, yeah, going 10 plus miles took me over 2 hours to get from pavement to here to this campsite. So, yeah, it's an awesome spot. And I'm really glad I came here. But yeah, getting back here was a, it wasn't, I wouldn't call it a pain. It wasn't an ordeal. It just took a long time, and that's all I do. I just, on those roads that are really not good condition, yeah, I just go a little slower. We can all get into the caveman mood with fire. Yeah, I know, right? That's one of the beautiful things about just having like an actual fire. I don't know. There's just something special about it. I don't have to explain it. You guys all know. And you do kind of miss out on this with the portable propane fire pit. And, obviously super glad I've got that thing. Yeah, again, if you saw the video that went up yesterday, I made good use of that, got creative with having that, helping me out on a project in kind of a wacky way. But I do want to mention real quick that, yeah, this live stream is sponsored by eTrailer, which is the website that I got this portable propane fire pit from. And so if you guys are, looking to get one for yourself, I do actually really, truly recommend this one. It's really neat. It's got all of the lava rocks on the inside, and it has these little legs that fold out, to stand on, which is really nice. And the hose that it comes with is really long. I truly do like this fire pit. It's really nice. And, if you need any other kind of camping gear or, ways to make your campsite really neat and cool, this camping chair also from eTrailer. Yeah, I mean, check their website out. Yeah, the hose that comes with it is nice and long, and it actually has control. You can control the the gas pressure right from the hose also. It's got its own built-in regulator. It's really nice. I really like it. And I was surprised at how little propane these use. You would think that, putting out this big fire, it would just guzzle propane, but it really doesn't. It barely uses any. We usually have the live stream for like 2 hours, and after 2 hours of running that thing, it barely has used any propane. It's really cool. But that thing is great when there's fire restrictions, or you just can't have a campfire or whatever. If the RV park or the campground you're in, you can't have an actual fire. But obviously I prefer a real fire. Take a real fire any day. And gathering the wood is actually fun too. I enjoy just going out with the truck, and that's what I did to get all this wood. I just went out with the truck, found a downed tree, and just started gathering my wood. I like the smoke because it doesn't burn my eyes. All right, Chris, are you talking about the smoke coming at the camera? It's not burning your eyes? Hey, Catherine, how's it going? Sorry I'm late. Where are you, and what's the temp? I am in the Uinta Mountains, about 2 hours east of Salt Lake City. And I'm at 9,200 feet. So I'm way up in elevation. So despite the fact that we're in the middle of summer, the hottest month of the year, typically, the high today was 56 degrees. And it rained a little bit today too, which was really nice. I really, really enjoy this cooler weather. High 50s, mid 60s, that's like perfect for me. I like sweater weather. I like wearing sweaters. It's really comfortable for me. And it's a lot more comfortable by the fire too. I know we've had the campfire on some pretty hot days, these Campfire Fridays. And so it's nice to have it be a cool day, and I can start the fire during the day and actually, enjoy the heat coming off of it. It feels awesome. But yeah, we're in northeast Utah. When I was a kid, my uncle donated land to Ducks Unlimited. The cranes and other migratory birds would stop all the time. Wow, that's super cool, man. Huh. Very cool. I watched a sandhill crane kill a turtle once. It was about 5 inches round, and he didn't get it swallowed, but that turtle just looked weird stuck in its throat. What? Not sure how it finished, as I had to go. So they just straight up go full anaconda on their food, like 5 inches. Wow. That's insane. They just swallow a 5-inch round turtle whole. Wow. Get a wedge and a 10-pound sledge. Yeah, I'm actually thinking of getting a nice heavy axe too. Do you miss having a garage? Oh man, you know I do. I really, really do miss having like a workspace. If I ever get around to building that off-grid home, I'm definitely going to have like a nice big outbuilding. And honestly, I'm going to start with the outbuilding first. If I ever get land in the mountains, I'm going to build the work shed, or not work shed, work, you know what I'm trying to say, the outbuilding, whatever. I'm going to build that first because I already have a home, you know, park the travel trailer on the land and then build the garage first so that I have a space for projects. You know, doing all the work that I do, I always work outside, you know, whenever I have a project that I would usually do in a garage, especially anything that's on the truck. And it is kind of nice. Oh, sorry, I just saw the fire like shoot out this like flaming vent. You know, that pressure just builds up and then finds a weak spot in the bark and poof, it was pretty cool. But yeah, it is really nice just like working out under a blue sky, especially when the weather is nice. But yes, I do miss having a garage for sure. Oh, are you still in Utah? We want to spend some time boondocking in that area next summer. Yep, still am. I'm in Northeast Utah. Not far from Wyoming, actually. Pretty close to Wyoming. Yes, look at big raptor vids. It's incredible. I want to learn falconry. Yeah, dude, that would be really cool. That would be a pretty sweet hobby. Build a bard or an earth ship. I have my earth ship class in September. You know, I've seen those. I have definitely seen those, and they look really cool. I don't know enough about earth ships to really have an opinion on them. It's not something I've looked a lot into. I've always thought of just kind of like a classic cabin style build. Nothing big, you know. I neither need nor want like a big home when and if I ever do build. You know, I've gotten so used to 180 square feet. That's all I've got inside that travel trailer. And it's actually pretty comfortable. And so I'd probably only go with, you know, 1,000 square feet at the most. Yeah, I was just thinking like kind of your classic cabin, wood burning stove, all that good stuff. Alaska has good sweater weather. I know. My favorite color is flannel. What do you think my favorite color is? That's funny. We know. In an emergency, I have an adapter to run my Starlink off of a DeWalt battery. Works for about 30 minutes on an 18 volt. That's really cool. I've got I don't have it with me. It's inside the travel trailer. But I have a battery that it's like wedge shaped, and it's for the Starlink Mini, and it snaps into the back of it. And you can plug the Starlink Mini into it. It's by a company called Peakdo, Peakdo, not sponsored by them. Just, it's a cool thing. If you have a Starlink Mini, and yeah, it's a neat little battery, wedge shape, just fits right on into the back of the Starlink Mini. And so, you know, I think on a full charge, it'll power it for, it's at least 2 hours. It might be a little more. Yeah, you can like magnet the Starlink Mini to the top of your vehicle if you've got a metal roof. And then with that battery, you can power it that way while you're driving and stuff. And that's something that's kind of gone through my mind, but same thing. I have that as a backup just in case, you know. Oops. Sorry, sweetie. Sorry, she didn't mind getting a little dirty. Never did. All right. Earthship is how Elise and I met. What? Okay, so I didn't know this. All right, come on, story time. Story time. How did you guys meet via Earthship? If you're looking for easy cabin ideas, check out Kyle's cabin. Okay, I will. Roadies, man, Scott, you guys must watch like so much YouTube, because this is I've noticed a pattern. Whenever a conversation comes up, like, you've got the YouTube channel that has done this thing that you need to watch to learn about it, which I'm not making fun of you at all. I think it's really cool, actually, that you've got a lot of these like wide-ranging interests that you get really passionate about and want to learn a lot about. And so you find the people that are already doing it and doing it right and latch on to what they're doing and watch them. I think it's pretty cool. But yeah, that's a neat thing I've noticed. You've always got the the people that are doing it, who to check out. I, on the other hand, unfortunately, I have these ideas and then I'm like, maybe I'll do that one day. And then I never look into it anymore. Shipping container works great as a shop. That's what we have in Elko. Comes in on a trailer, drops on the ground, and boom, shop. That's pretty sweet. Can I drive my truck into it, though? That's the big thing. Can I drive my truck into it? Will my travel trailer fit inside of it? Because if that one day that rubber roof is gonna have to come off of that thing and need to be completely replaced. Hopefully not for a very long time. There's no wood to knock on. There we go. Hopefully not for a very long time, but when that day comes, I'm gonna want a roof over it, if at all possible. It's amazing, and Mr. Reynolds is an icon. I plan on using the skill to build around the world when I leave in 2 years for my World Overland Tour. Whoa, that is super cool. I want to learn more about this World Overland Tour you've got planned, Chris. That sounds really neat. Do you plan on like shipping your? I assume you're going to do it in your Jeep. Do you plan on like shipping your Jeep, across the Atlantic to get over to Europe, Africa, and then on into Asia? World tour. That sounds really cool, man. Wow. Any weird encounters with Bigfoot or UFOs? No, I haven't seen anything that would lead me to believe that it was Bigfoot or UFOs. Yeah, I just haven't seen anything that's unexplained. I've seen some weird things in the sky before. Back early in the days of traveling, when like SpaceX was still like a kind of a fledgling company, and so you didn't really know what it was. But come to find out, they were just SpaceX launches, because some of those launches looked really strange up in the sky. The way that I think it was like the vapor cloud from their liquid engines, or maybe their solid fuel engines, I'm not sure which, but the way it would all spread through the sky just looked super weird as this thing was like going across the sky. But other than that, no. Okay, Earthship is a semi-buried house that uses earth as a thermal insulator. The front faces south for the sun. Okay. I mean, that makes a lot of sense. That's some killer insulation. The literal earth. Yeah, I've definitely seen those before. They also collect enough water from the roof. Cisterns are buried in the rear for UV and temp stability. Sort of artsy Hobbit vibes. That's what immediately went through my mind when you started describing it, but I didn't want to. What's the word? Discount what you were saying, but yeah, I mean that's pretty cool. It sounds like a super efficient way to build a home. I was working as a surveyor in Florida when I seen that sandhill crane attempt to eat that turtle. I had to leave and didn't get to see him finish, but I thought it was weird. Yeah, that's pretty wild, honestly. They call me neurodivergent, but I prefer intellectual omnivore. That's funny. It's about right. Oh, thanks, Scott. I appreciate that. He said we refer a lot of people to your channel, and you were our first YouTube channel we followed. Thanks, man. Yeah, you guys have been around since the beginning. Pretty cool. Your trailer is great because you can do work on it. Some RVs are so high tech, the coach and engine becomes very difficult for you to do your own maintenance. Yeah, I definitely think there's something to be said about just simplicity. It's why I still have my old truck. It's why I bought that truck. I mean, that truck was old when I bought it. I bought it in 2017, and it's a 2004. It was already 13 years old when I bought it. And yeah, now it's 22 years old. Yeah, 9 years. Yeah, I mean, there's, don't get me wrong, there's a fair amount of electronics on that thing, but nothing like nowadays, new ones nowadays. And my travel trailer is just so simple too. There's a lot of, most of what's in it is manual, and I like that. The awning is electric, but haven't had any issues with that awning, thankfully. Okay, how do we get this thing in there? I should have cut this off, but I didn't. And now I've ruined the whole fire. Damn it. To mess around with that weird log. Oh well. There. But yeah, my travel trailer is really simple too. And yeah, I mean, I can work on everything, and I don't know. I completely agree. Earth ships are completely off the grid and disaster resistant. I mean, yeah, they're built into the earth. That makes a lot of sense that they'd be disaster resistant. Yeah, I'm like thinking about all the various natural disasters, and yeah, it would seem like they would be resistant to all of them, even earthquake, despite being built into the earth. I'm sure that actually helps, probably. But I mean, certainly hurricane, tornado, I mean, even fire, if you've got everything cleared around it, then there's just not going to be any fuels, if it's just like grass that's around it, nothing that's going to burn hot enough to ignite the structure, because the front is still exposed. Plan on getting a travel trailer to escape the winter here in Maine. I have a stupid question. When you go to spots like this, where do you find fresh water before heading off grid? Yeah, John, it's not hard to find water. Sometimes it's not super easy, but the main resource that I use is free, it's rvdumpsites.net. And yeah, it's just a free site. It's all community driven, I think. Just people post about a site that you can dump and fill water in. And if things change, then someone will update it and say, well, they don't have potable water anymore, or it was free, but now it's $10 or whatever. So yeah, RV dump sites has been really great. And that's pretty much what I use. And just between campsites from one to the next, I will find somewhere to fill my freshwater tank, dump my wastewater tanks, and yeah, usually, I've got like a 6-hour drive between sites, and somewhere along the way will be a place to fill water. And I usually don't have to refill because I carry so much water between the travel trailer and then the 75-gallon water tank I've got in the bed of my truck. So, but sometimes I do. And in that instance, again, usually there's a place to fill up water in the nearest town somewhere. Sometimes there's not, which, yeah, when I was camping near Packwood, there was nowhere nearby to fill up water at. But thankfully, in those situations, I just make sure I'm not using water willy-nilly. I kind of conserve it so that I don't need to refill before I leave. But yeah, RV dump sites is a great resource. Just bought the propane fire pit you have from eTrailer and answered the questionnaire and gave you credit for the reason I just bought it. Oh, wow. That's awesome, Gun6. Thank you, man. I actually really appreciate that you took the time to answer that questionnaire because the YouTube landscape has changed so much since I first started making videos. I don't make nearly as much money through YouTube ad revenue now as I did 5 years ago. And so the unfortunate reality has become that I rely on sponsors now heavily to still be able to earn a living doing this, and so you letting eTrailer know that helps me out. And eTrailer has been an excellent partner. You guys have noticed that eTrailer comes up a lot. It's because they sponsor one video a month and they sponsor one live stream a month. And so they're like a reoccurring sponsor that's not easy to get. Usually it's just one-off deals. You agree to do this one sponsorship for this one video, and then that's it. But yeah, eTrailer agreed to renew every single month to have one video and one live stream sponsored a month. And so, yeah, I can't say enough good things about that company. I have bought things from eTrailer before sponsored. If you guys remember, guys that have been watching for a while, do you remember when I reinforced the rear bumper of the travel trailer and put that rear rack on the rear bumper of the camper so that we could carry our electric bikes on that rear rack? Well, I bought the bumper reinforcers. I forget what they're actually called. They have an actual name. And I bought that rear cargo rack from eTrailer. And again, this was before they were sponsored. I was like actual customer. And their customer service is amazing, and their shipping is fast. Um, and I have bought things from them before also that I just wasn't happy with, and I wanted to return. No questions asked, just boom. Here's your return shipping label. Send it back. Whatever. Yeah, really cool people, and their whole website has. What's really cool about their website too is they create videos reviewing the products that you're looking at. And so it's an actual e-trailer employee reviewing this product. They'll take out a tape measure and take all these dimensions too and let you know all this information. It's really cool. And so I don't know. Their website is great. Those videos are great. I just really appreciate them for both on the customer side and on the like sponsorship side. So yeah, I've waxed poetic enough about eTrailer, but I really, really do love those guys. Looks like I should have went to Utah instead of heading east. Currently outside of Kansas City, I was under the impression Utah was having wildfires. So there are some big wildfires down south. I believe either just west of or maybe northwest of Bryce Canyon. Yeah, it's like down in that area. It's not at Bryce Canyon, but it's like west of it. There's a pretty big fire. Or at least there was. I haven't been keeping tabs on it, but I think it's called the Cottonwood Fire. Don't hold me to that, but yeah, thankfully. Oh, there actually is a fire west of here too, west of me, by about 50 miles, I want to say. And it's not huge, but it's not small either. And there have been evacuations because of it, but thankfully none of that smoke is making its way this way. But there's still smoke in a lot of Utah because, I talked about this earlier, the jet stream that cuts through the United States kind of starts up in the Pacific Northwest, or it doesn't start there, but, it comes from there. It cuts down through like Idaho and into Utah and then down from there even. And so it's going to bring all that fire smoke from the Pacific Northwest down into Idaho and Utah also. But that's why I specifically picked this spot, because there was a lot of rain in the forecast, and rain just takes care of fire smoke because all of the precipitation catches those smoke particles as it falls down, and it just brings it all to the ground and clears the air out. And so it's rained almost every day I've been here, and it's really funny. It's been like clockwork every day, not almost every day. In the morning, it's really nice out. There's clouds, it's like partly cloudy. And then as the day progresses, the clouds get thicker and darker, and then there's some thunder starts to roll, and then right at about 4 p.m., boom, the rain starts coming down. There might be some lightning in the air, and then at about 8 p.m., rain stops, and then it's done. So it rains for like 4 hours, and then it's done. It's pretty funny, but it's been perfect. Thanks, Chris. So I love the imagination you have used in your video ad spots. The dude disappearing into the tree was a funny one. That's actually, believe it or not, the first time I've ever done a like comedy style ad spot. But I don't know. I just decided I want to have fun with this one. And I actually got some inspiration from another YouTube channel. I forget what the name is. It's a channel my brother Thomas watches a lot. He actually showed me that while I was at their house visiting. He was like, "I've got this really funny thing I want to show you," and he showed me that guy's ad spot. It's hilarious. And so I like took inspiration from that. And I guess it was well received. I was actually kind of nervous putting that out because I'm not like a comedian or anything, and I don't tend to think I'm particularly funny. And so it I was when I published that video, I actually was kind of anxious about, I don't know how people are going to receive this. They might think it's stupid, who knows, but sounds like it was well received and funny. Are those Keen hiking boots? No, these are starts with an M. They're I forget the name. I don't know. It's a popular hiking boot. Starts with an M. And this is my third pair of hiking boots by them. And I usually really love them, but I actually am not a fan of these ones because they said that they're waterproof. They're not at all, not in the slightest. Yeah, shoot. I don't know. The brand isn't on them anywhere. Let's see. Nope. Whatever. I mean it's a popular hiking boot. They sell them at any like outdoor sporting place like REI or whatever. But I just got them online. But yeah, usually really like them. Not a fan of this pair, but I'm wearing them out anyway. But I'm about due. They're starting to wear out. I probably got another year. I'll probably get another year out of these boots. Oh yeah, David Pearson. Yellowstone in Montana was excellent until the smoke rolled in, or the smoke arrived. That's how I felt about Washington. My last campsite, the view I had of Mount Rainier, oh, so cool. I love those massive snow-capped stratovolcanoes, that run all along the Cascade Mountain Range from California up into Canada. And yeah, that view was so cool. I was pretty bummed that I had to leave, but I mean, I'm just not gonna. I mean, fire smoke when it's that thick, when it's so thick that you can't even see, this gigantic mountain that you're only. I mean, I was within 50 miles of it. I was probably much closer. I was probably about 25 miles away from it at my campsite. When you can't even see something that's that big, 25 miles away from you, I mean, it's pretty bad. And so had to get out of there. Merrill, that's it. Yes, Merrill. Thank you guys. Yeah. Yeah, Merrill. My husband has those. Cute. Yes, it's Merrill. I mean, like I said, this is my third pair. They're really comfortable. I will say that they're extremely comfortable, really good ankle support. Yeah, my only gripe is that they said they're waterproof and they never have been. Never. But my other two pairs were. But they actually stopped making the model, the type. What the hell do you call that when it comes to boots? Like with a car, it's like a model, Silverado, Firebird, whatever. But this is like a boot. I'm gonna stick with model because my brain doesn't work right. When they discontinued that model of boot, and this was like what they replaced it with. And my other two shoes were very waterproof and very nice. These ones are not, despite the claims. I used to love Merrill. I switched to Hoka Trail Runners. Okay, interesting. Merrill Bajas are waterproof and extremely comfortable. Okay, I'll check those out. Yeah, like I said, I'll get another year out of these. I wear my boots until the gosh dang it. Another word I'm failing to find. The tread. I don't think it's called tread on a boot. It's called tread on a tire. What the hell is this? The tread. I'm sticking with that. Once the tread starts to wear out, that's when I get new boots. So style. style of boot. Thank you. Uh, the storms were bad in South Dakota. I drove 10 hours straight to get away from the storms. Now I am in the heat zone. Ah, that's awful. I camped in the Black Hills. Is it the Black Hills National Forest in South Dakota, where where Mount Rushmore is? I think that's what it is. It's been a while. It's been a long while. That was like 2019 or something. Yeah, camped in the Black Hills National Forest by Mount Rushmore, and it's pretty close to Thunder Basin. And it was while camping there, I learned why it's called Thunder Basin. It was readily apparent. Every single day, these like in the afternoon, this storm cell would just grow right out of Thunder Basin and just head straight on over to the Black Hills. Just every single day, and it would thunder, it would lightning, it would just pour buckets, and some days it would even hail, and that was pretty neat. I actually enjoyed that. I kind of like thunderstorms, so lightning is cool, and the lightning that I've watched here has been really neat too. Just from the safety of my travel trailer, but got the blinds open, just watching out the windows. Pretty cool. Do you ever hear from Thomas, the solar installer and former RVer? Are you talking about Thomas, the former RVer, now boat lifer that is going through America's Great Loop on their YouTube channel, Happily Wherever After, with his lovely girlfriend, Elise? Yes, I know about them. I've heard from them. They're in the chat right now. Yeah, man, check out their YouTube channel if you haven't. If you're interested in like boat adventures, they renovated their single hull boat themselves. Did just an absolute insane amount of work to that thing to get it seaworthy, and then hit the water. Is that what you say? RVing, you say, well, I hit the road. They hit the water together. Yeah. Oh, I missed them leaving. Said boaters, midnight is upon us. Safe travels, everyone, and don't forget to like David's video. Oh, thanks. Okay, so they're not in the chat anymore, but they were. Yeah, Happily Wherever After on YouTube. Yeah, Thomas West and his girlfriend Elise. They are, really cool people. Known Thomas for a long time. Caravaned with him a few times when he was a full-time RVer also. Yeah, great dude. Oh, hi, David. We spent a couple of days in Lassen National Park area this week exploring the volcano areas. Have you ever stayed in that area? So I've never stayed close to Lassen National Park, but I'm very familiar with that area. I've actually been to Lassen twice, the park, but that's because Ro, her dad, lives in Susanville, California, which is just east of there. And so Lassen's not that far. And so while visiting her dad, we've just driven to Lassen National Volcanic. Beautiful area. Yeah, that part of Northern California is absolutely gorgeous. And yeah, I would explore a lot more of California if it wasn't so expensive. But yeah, super cool area, very beautiful. And by expensive, I mean diesel and groceries. Yeah, diesel fuel, especially now with how much fuel, the cost of fuel has gone up. Diesel was already my number one expense, and now even more than ever, it is. And so Yeah, I'm not a big fan of going places and paying, $6 a gallon for diesel. But do love California. So beautiful. Oh, Colorado's been challenging to find water this summer. We've worked it out. It just makes us appreciate it even more. Oh, interesting. Yeah, man, some states it is just difficult to find water in for whatever reason. Very true. On the resource management subject, what ends first for you? Food, water, propane, or something else? I almost always have enough water unless I need to do a lot of laundry. I do my laundry by hand using the Wonder Wash, if you've seen that in videos. And that uses a lot of water because I do 2 wash cycles and 1 rinse cycle. One cycle with detergent and then another cycle with white vinegar because it kind of acts as a conditioner and it, softens it. It removes all the detergent from the clothes, soften them. And then a rinse cycle. And so, yeah, it uses kind of a lot of water. So I usually don't run out of water. Propane, I barely use any, especially now that I have, I got that upgrade to my solar system. I've got that ground solar panel that's bringing in another 300 watts on top of the rooftop array on my roof. And now that I have the 960 amp hours of battery storage, my refrigerator stays on electric most of the time, and my water heater that can run off of propane or electric, I always run it off electric now too. I have enough power for that. And so I really don't use a lot of propane, even with all the cooking I do. Got 2 30-pound propane tanks. Those will last me in the summer over a month. And so food. It's usually food. But even then, on my way out to my campsite, my next campsite, in the trip between my last and my next, I do like a full provisioning run. At the grocery store, I buy enough food to last me the whole stay at that campsite. And so I never have to go into town, usually. I shouldn't say never. I usually don't need to go into town to get more food or water or propane. I can usually head out to the campsite in the backcountry, stay there for 2 weeks, and I don't need to go into town for food, water, any of the essentials, the major resources. The only times I really need to go into town is to pick something up from that's being shipped to me from at a UPS store, or if I ordered something on Amazon, or if I need a part for my truck, or I got to go to the hardware store and get stuff for the travel trailer if I'm working on something on my trailer. So yeah, I do that on purpose because trips into town are, they just take forever. I'm usually 2 hours from the nearest anything. And so a 2-hour trip into town becomes a full day because it's 2 hours there, 2 hours back. There's 4 hours plus whatever you're doing in town. And so, the whole day is just gone. And so, yeah, I really try to limit my trips into town. Oh, Gone with the Winds used to RV, and now they are doing boats. I like boats, but I also want to see land. Yeah, Gone with the Winds was actually my first full-time RVing YouTube channel that I found, and they were the channel that I watched just obsessively to learn about how to do this. And yeah, so those guys hold a really special place in my heart because, yeah, they gave me a lot of inspiration to do this. And what was unfortunate though is right when I found them, they had just had the idea to start sailing, and they were still in their RV, but they started talking about sailing. And then they started to actually make moves to start sailing. And so that was a bummer. But I went back and watched their videos from the beginning on forward, and yeah, they seem like really cool people. Have you tried cooking a whole chicken on a spit over the campfire? No, I haven't, but that, like, cooking over the campfire sound has always kind of interested me. It's always been kind of intriguing because yeah, it just feels a lot more like primal, natural, and just using wood that you gather, as opposed to propane that you pay for, and because this wood that I gather is just going to decay and become, nothing and release its carbon and all of that stuff anyway, like found wood on the ground. And so like burning it doesn't really negatively affect anything, but burning propane certainly does, and the whole refining process and everything. But yeah, it just seems a lot more like natural and kind of cool. But no, I've never done that. I have like cooked in a with a cast iron skillet over a campfire before. That was pretty cool. I like that a lot. Headed to Acadia National Park in 10 days. That's awesome, man. I've never been there, but that's really cool. I hope you enjoy it, man. That's really neat. Oh man, yeah. Chris, did you talk about your world overland plans? If you did, I missed it. I plan on 12 days completely off grid. That's my limit with 9 square feet. Yeah. Yeah, 9 square feet. That's and I think my space is small, but I've got, 180 square feet. I mean, heck, my travel trailer is a mansion compared to a lot of people that do what I do with like truck campers or smaller rigs. And my travel trailer is only 24 feet long and it doesn't have any slides, but still, you know, and with my truck, my long bed truck and the camper shell, I have like a garage, is how my ATV goes in there. It is a garage. It's my mobile garage. We turn our 6-gallon water heater off after showering in the evening. Usually stays hot enough till next evening when traveling. It runs on solar. Yeah, that's what I do too. Except I only turn my water heater on to take a shower, and then I just turn it back off because, keep it real with you guys, I don't shower every day. I think most full-time RVers don't, so I'm not too ashamed to admit that. So yeah, I conserve water that way. But yeah, and so leaving my water heater on for, days when it's just like I'm not going to use any hot water at all seems like a waste. So I only turn it on to heat the water up enough to take a shower. It takes like 20 minutes. And then I check the water, turn the faucet on, and I check it. I'm like, yep, that's hot enough. And then I get in the shower, turn the water heater off, then get in the shower. But oh, I've been doing the cold showers. I only use hot water for shaving. Yeah, now that's something else. I don't think I could do the cold showers. Now, you were saying where you're staying at is really hot right now. So I wonder if maybe that water is not actually cold. It gets down into the 30s here at night right now. So upper 30s, lower 40s. So that is some cold water. Are you always able to gather wood where you're at? Is it illegal in the forest? Or it is illegal in the forest in my state. So I always check because it's not always legal. And I have been in national forests where it's not legal, and I just go into town and get like a bundle of wood. But yeah, it's really easy to check. I just do a Google search. Can I gather wood in the Wasatch National Forest? Yep, sure can. If and usually there's like, restrictions as like, it's got to be a downed tree. You can't cut branches off of a living tree. Obviously, you can't like cut a living tree down. I don't know why you would even want to for a campfire. It's not going to burn very well. But in most of the national forests that I've stayed in, you're allowed to gather small amounts of downed wood for specifically for campfires. And then there's like permits you can buy that are like surprisingly cheap. You can get like, I think I read that you can get 4 cords of wood for $30 here in the Wasatch National Forest. So, yeah, I mean, even if you want to gather wood to, fuel a wood burning stove for your home or something, yeah, it's like $30 for 4 cords. I mean, you got to gather it yourself, but I don't know. Like we were talking about earlier, I'm not against resource gathering on my own. I actually kind of enjoy it. Gets you out, it gets you moving. You get that exercise, and then, yeah, I mean, this wood was free. Pretty cool. Whereas, like, yeah, when you buy them by the bundle, it's crazy. You get what's a bundle of firewood cost nowadays? $7, and it's like this much wood. It's not very much, and it's just like the crappiest wood in the world. It's so light and it burns so fast. I mean, like this has been burning pretty slow, and I've still got, all this wood left. So pretty good. Oh, I guess I'll pop the camera back off and show you guys around for newcomers. I know we're pretty late to the stream, but I kind of showed the campsite earlier. Figure I'll show it again. I usually just have my chair right there, and this is kind of where I eat like my breakfast and my dinner at. I just sit down right here and watch this view right there. I think that's a pretty sweet view. I like it a lot. And it's under the trees. And so even if it starts raining, it doesn't really drop onto me all that much. I just sat out here and just like watched the rain and the thunder and the lightning. Is pretty cool. But yeah, this is the lake that I'm camped off of. Yeah, it's really peaceful. And yeah, there's this little road that I'm camped off of. It's more of just a path down to the shore, and people have, driven past going down to hang out down by the water. And then my campsite, that's home. Pretty sweet. All the time, I'll just like stand and I'll just kind of like look at the travel trailer and, in my campsite, wherever I'm at, and I'll just look around, and I just have the thought, I live here. It's pretty cool. Pretty freaking cool. But this is the way in. You drive in. Road leads off that way. Yeah. I'm going to take the ATV out on another ride tomorrow. Hopefully the chain doesn't pop off again. Weather's supposed to be really nice tomorrow. It's not supposed to rain. And it's going to be a little warmer. It's going to be highs in the like low 60s. So take the ATV out again. There's a bunch of roads and stuff that I want to check out. And even got this little river, or a little creek, I guess, should call it, that feeds down on into the lake. It's pretty neat. I can hear that water running from my camp or from inside the travel trailer if I got the windows open, which is pretty cool. The sound of running water is always really, really awesome. So yeah, that's the campsite. Pretty good one. It wasn't particularly easy to get back here, but I think it was worth it, especially for this weather. To Patagonia, okay, let's see. I plan on starting in the queue in January, a test run to Baja in February with some overlanders I've followed for years, then finish the 50 by 50 in Alaska, August 2027, and then down the Pan American to Patagonia, and then ship Marion to Australia for a year, then country hop till I die. Oh man, love it. Traveling Robert may have his Q27 and then maybe go to Baja too. Oh, I know. I've heard of Traveling Robert. Cool. He's also planning on Alaska 2027. I have to get to the Arctic Circle and swim. Dude, hell yeah. That's badass. Cool. Yes, I've been talking with Nick and Matilda from Next Meridian Expedition. They say they do it on 30,000 a year. They just entered Kyrgyzstan. That's so cool, man. Wow. Oh, dude, that sounds like an awesome trip. I can't wait to get updates. You better still be around and give updates during those travels. I would love to see that. That's super cool, man. Wow. And yeah, saying that that couple is doing what you were talking about doing on $30,000 a year. It's pretty cool how like traveling and like doing what I do and stuff, because I live on a pretty low budget too. I live extremely frugally. Um, it really just comes down to like it can be as cheap or as expensive as you make it. If you're constantly paying for everything and outsourcing everything to other people, all the services and stuff, and you're staying in expensive places and doing expensive things while in those areas, like, yeah, it's going to cost a lot. But if you stay in low cost or free areas, you take care of all of your maintenance yourself and, stuff like that, then you can do it for cheap. You can do it for really cheap. But that's really cool. Uh, David, is there an adjustment for chain tension on your ATV? I don't actually know because I've never had to do anything with the chain yet. I'm sure there is. There's got to be, because there is a spec for chain tension. But yeah, I'd have to check the owner's manual. That's a piece of maintenance I haven't had to touch yet. My chain is in good condition. And when I bought it, the chain tension was in spec. And I checked the chain tension last month and it was still in spec. I just haven't looked into it. But, oh, I don't think I've said this yet, but it's looking like I'm actually going to get rid of the ATV, and I think I'm going to switch to a dirt bike, a dual sport dirt bike, and get a front hitch for the truck and, a rack that will fit into that front hitch, set the dirt bike on that, and then I'll get the bed of my truck back, because that ATV, when it's up in the bed of my truck, it takes up pretty much the entire truck bed. And so, And it's a lot of work to get it out. It takes about 30 minutes. I have to take everything out of the bed, and then I can roll the ATV out, and then I have to put everything back in the bed, and then when I need to put the ATV back into the bed of the truck, I have to take everything back out, roll the ATV up in there, and put everything back, and so I end up taking everything out and putting it back in. I have to do that twice just to be able to ride it around. And also, it's not street legal. And so there's a lot of trails that I can't ride on, because like forest roads, a lot of forest roads are street legal vehicles only. And so if I got a dual sport dirt bike, then I could legally ride on those forest roads. And I could even just ride the dirt bike into town if I just needed something. Like say I needed a part for the truck and it could fit in a book bag, right? Then I could take the dual sport into town, get way better fuel mileage. I lost my train of thought. Oh, if Helga broke down in the middle of nowhere, I would have the dual sport dirt bike as like a redundant, as a second vehicle almost, or essentially, not almost, it is a second vehicle to then I could get where I need to go still, to, I don't know, do what I need to do to fix Helga or whatever. But yeah, so it just seems like there's so much upside to having a dual sport dirt bike. The only downside is that I just really love the ATV, I got an ATV instead of a dirt bike to begin with because I wanted to be able to just casually ride it around, like low speed, just putt around, and not have to worry about balance or, anything like that. So that's really the only downside is that, I think I'll enjoy the ATV more than I'll enjoy riding a dirt bike, but there's so many downsides to having the ATV that a dirt bike solves. So yeah. So that's kind of the idea, guys. The new, and that's probably going to happen when I go visit my parents in October. Oops. I'm going to go back to Indiana and visit my parents in late October, stay there for a month, stay through Thanksgiving, and then leave. That's the plan for this year. And when I go back to Indiana, I'm going to put the ATV up for sale and get a dirt bike while I'm there, get the front hitch for the truck. And that's the plan. Nothing's set in stone. I don't know for sure, but that seems to me like just a better way to still have like an off-road vehicle that I can explore with instead of the Raptor. Love the Raptor. It's so much fun. It's so cool. I absolutely love that thing. Riding it around is just such a joy, but it is kind of a pain because it's so big. But yeah, and not street legal. Oh my God, get a touring like Dan from Epic Family Road Trip. It wouldn't be a touring. No, it would, because I want to keep it light and small. Like, I don't want this big, huge thing on the front of my truck, it'd be a dual sport dirt bike for sure. Hi, David. Is it cool where you're at? It is very cool. It's both cool, as in like it's awesome, and it's cool in temperature. It's the high today was only 56 degrees. I think the elevation, I got the question what elevation I'm at earlier. I am at 9,200 feet elevation. So 9,200 feet. I'm pretty high up. And yeah, it's really nice. I've escaped the summer heat. I really like this temperature. 60s is like perfect for me. I like sweaters. I like wearing sweaters and stuff. Motorcycles are a good second vehicle. Just watch the weight on the front of the truck. Yeah, I've already checked it. Like a dual sport that I'm looking at getting weighs, um, its wet weight is under 400 pounds. It's like 370 or something. Yeah, my truck being a 3/4 ton diesel, the front axle and the front steering and everything like that can handle that plus the hitch plus the rack, no problem. So it's all good. Would your new pup be able to go without the ATV? Well, I mean, I don't, dogs don't ride on my ATV if that's your question anyway, because my ATV is a Raptor, a Yamaha Raptor. It's a sport quad. There's nowhere for a dog to ride on that thing anyway, if that was your question. Well, yeah, just store the ATV at your parents and get a dirt bike. I mean, I could do that, but then there would just be an ATV sitting at my parents' house doing absolutely nothing and just wasting away, being unused. I would rather sell it, obviously, to get the money for it, but also so someone else could enjoy it, you know? Yeah, Scott, absolutely. Thank you for your service, Mr. Freeze Adventures, retired Army here. Yeah, thank both of you guys. Thank you to both of you, for real. Well, guys, I think I'm gonna call it there. I've been letting the fire die down, even though it just like reignited. That's funny. I don't know if you noticed that it had stopped flaming for a little bit there and then reignited. But yeah, I'm gonna call it there. We're gonna end the stream. Getting pretty hungry. I've been holding off, Scott, Charlotte. I've been holding off talking about food despite being extremely hungry. I did eat at like 4 p.m. before the stream. I got really hungry and I had like an early dinner, but it's 4 hours later and I'm starting to get hungry again. So I'm gonna head on in and heat up some leftovers. Heat up some of that leftover chicken fried rice that I cooked yesterday. And yeah, and just enjoy the rest of my night. Watch the sunset. It hasn't quite started yet. Sunset's around 8:30 here. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for coming. I really enjoy these live streams. This one was a lot of fun too. I was looking forward to this one, and I was looking forward to showing you this campsite and having another a wood burning campfire for the first time in what feels like a long time. Yeah, gosh, it's been since May, right? June. Yeah, it's been like 3 months. So yeah, I guess it has been a while. Yeah, and big thanks to this live stream sponsor, eTrailer.com. I know we talked a lot about them earlier. They are the company that I got my portable propane campfire pit. It's a lot of P's, geez. From got this really comfortable camp chair. This is actually my favorite one. Folds up. It's my favorite one I've ever had. It's super comfortable. And all the appliances in my trailer, my wheels and tires, my front tongue jack, and my stabilizer jacks too, because I've dragged those and bent those all up to hell. And got new stabilizer jacks last year. And so, yeah, it's a really great company. Check them out for anything camping, RV, or obviously trailer related. It's right in the name, eTrailer, but they also have a ton of stuff for off-roading and yeah, RV related and general camping related. So yeah, big thanks to those guys. Great company. But yeah, and big thanks to you guys too. I know I just got done talking about how much I enjoy these live streams and hanging out with you, but I really do. It's fun. I have a good time. And it's cool seeing all the regulars that come back and getting to hang out with you guys. And what I really love about the live streams is that, with the videos that I put out each week, it's very one-sided, right? I put out the video and you watch it, but it's just what I'm doing, right? But during the live streams, I get to actually talk to you guys and learn what you guys are doing. And that's really cool to me and that's special to me. And so, yeah, I'm really happy that I started live streaming again. This is fun. And huge thanks to the moderators. I saw you guys taking control of stuff earlier. I super appreciate it. Scott and Charlotte Rohde and Thomas and Elise with Happily Wherever After. They're the moderators. And yeah, big thanks to you guys because it's so nice not having to like police chat myself. I know you guys got it and are could take control or have it under control. Huge thanks to you guys. Wait, did you see the meteorite showers? No, I didn't. I heard of them. Was it the Perseids? I think. Are they still going on? Shoot, no, I missed it. I've purposely watched them in years past, and I've seen some pretty incredible meteor showers. But no, I haven't watched them this year yet. I keep forgetting. Look forward to your next trip through Alabama, David. Thanks, Jeff. All right, guys. Yep, that's it. Oh, I think, what'd you say, Scott? Let's see. I think the last one is tonight. Okay, I'll look out for it. I will watch tonight then and report back. Thank you for letting me know because I do really like catching meteor showers. They're super cool. But yeah, guys, I hope you have an awesome weekend. It's Friday. It's Friday night, right? Have an awesome weekend. I know I'm gonna have a great weekend. I'm looking forward to it. And yeah, new video just went up yesterday. So if you haven't watched it, check it out. I really like that video. That one was fun to make. And I think you'll like it if you haven't seen it. I hope you like it. Yeah. I'm actually gonna get this fire put dead out. Because that's just the responsible thing to do. Because these coals, can stay hot for so long. And if the wind picks up, blows a spark or something, that would be bad. So let's get this guy put out. I actually had to, last weekend, there were some people camped in a campsite not too far away from mine. And when they left, they left Sunday morning and they just left their fire burning. Like it was like logs were on the fire, flames were still going, and they just drove off. They just packed up camp and drove off. And so I took my shovel and this jerry can over there and put their fire dead out for them. That was frustrating, especially with all the forest fires that are going on right now. 2026 is the worst wildfire season on record, at least for Washington and Oregon. But I imagine for other states too. So yeah, just like driving off, leaving the forest with your fire still just fully burning. That was something else. Well, all right, guys. Thank you again for joining me. I had a good time. Hope you did too. Have an awesome Friday. Have an awesome weekend. And I will see you at the next Campfire Friday in 2 weeks from today. Yeah. I'll leave you just with a sight of the lake, I think. All right. Yeah, right here. Like I said earlier, this is where I keep my camping chair, and I come out and eat breakfast, and I eat dinner sitting right here with this view. So there you go, guys. Have a great night. Have a great weekend. See you in 2 weeks.